and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today, and we are going to review some reports and news from the African continent, and starting from Egypt, as Egypt and the EU explored the cooperation between the two sides across various fields. This came during a meeting between Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdelati and EU Commissioner for Health, Humanitarian Affairs and Social Developments. More in the coming report.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdelati received Ayman Amawa, the African Union Commissioner for Health, Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, on Monday. The high-level meeting aimed to explore and expand avenues of mutual cooperation in the fields of healthcare, humanitarian relief and social development across the African continent. During the talks, Foreign Minister Abdelati emphasized the immense priority Egypt places on the healthcare sector. He underscored that a robust health infrastructure serves as a fundamental pillar for achieving long-term sustainable development throughout Africa. Addressing pressing continental health crises, the Foreign Minister declared Egypt's absolute solidarity with African nations currently grappling with the resurgence and outbreak of the Ebola virus. Abdelati reviewed the tangible steps Egypt has already taken, showcasing the medical and pharmaceutical aid shipments dispatched by Cairo to affected countries. This ongoing assistance is designed to back local efforts in combating the virus, containing its spread and mitigating its severe humanitarian and economic repercussions. Abdelati reiterated Egypt's complete readiness to transfer its pioneering expertise and successful blueprints in the medical and pharmaceutical fields to the rest of the continent. He proposed robust collaboration with the AU Commission on capacity building programs and human resources development for medical professionals. Shifting the focus to social development and youth empowerment, Abdelati turned to sports diplomacy. He affirmed Egypt's keenness to provide all necessary financial, logistical and organizational capabilities to guarantee a flawlessly successful and honorable hosting of the 14th All-Africa Games, scheduled to take place in Egypt in 2027. He expressed readiness for immediate, tight-knit coordination with the African Union Commission to deliver an event that truly benefits the African continent and its peoples, ultimately fostering deeper solidarity, unity and connection among African youth.
And now we are joined over the phone by Dr. Ayman Ghoneim, legal and economic expert. Good afternoon, Dr. Ayman.
Good afternoon to you, ma'am.
So, Dr. Ayman, the Minister of Foreign Affairs highly praised the 100 million health initiative from an economic standpoint. What is the actual return on investment for Egypt by scaling this model across Africa?
Well, actually, the Egypt's 100 million health initiative, it was not merely a health program. Actually, it was more of a productivity and an investment program, because Egypt screened more than 60 million people, treated millions for hepatitis C, and it became the first country validated by World Health Organization to be on the path of eliminating the hepatitis C virus. World Health Organization said that Egypt diagnosed 87% of its population and treated more than 93% of the people infected with the virus. And here the return on investment, it comes from many channels. It comes from lower future healthcare costs, fewer liver cancer and liver failure cases, and healthier workforce and more productive workforce. If this model is scaled in Africa, actually the economic return would be stronger, because in Africa this virus is there, and in many countries of Africa they suffer from such a problem. And so we can have more productive, stronger and more productive African human capital, lower public health spending, and higher labor productivity.
So, sir, also, as we are talking about bolstering medical security on a continental scale, what major economic barriers do you foresee Egypt facing?
Well, actually, Egypt can convert its healthcare successes into political influence, into soft power in Africa.
Yes.
This is by offering the African continent practical and low-cost healthcare models, offering mass screening models, digital registers, affordable treatment, affordable medicine. through its local pharmaceutical production base. And this is actually more powerful than just speeches and slogans. And since President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was elected to presidency in 2014,
yes.
Egypt has been regaining its leadership role and position in the three traditional circles that late President Gamal Abdel Nasser talked about: the African circle, the Arab circle, and the Islamic circle. In the 1950s and 60s, Egypt was a leader in the African liberation movement. Today, Egypt is a leader in the African development movement, including, of course, the healthcare platforms.
So, Dr. Ayman, as you mentioned that Egypt today is celebrating the 30th of June revolution, do you think that Egypt has succeeded in regaining its pivotal role in the African continent 13 years now under the leadership of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi?
Well, yes, of course, it's very obvious that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has been moving strongly on the diplomatic front. What the traditional circles, the African, the Arab, and the Islamic circles, as well as the wider circles, the South Mediterranean circle, the European circle, the American, and the Eastern circle. And there is a form of synergy in moving such circles together, because the stronger presence of Egypt in the worldwide summits and economic and political events increases its ability to lead the African and southern countries in general, especially in the development areas, and also in their quest to procure finance at just and easy terms.
And sir, from an economic point of view, do you think that Egypt needs to increase its investments in the African countries, and that there is a good market for Egyptian products, especially also as we are talking about pharmaceutical products here in Egypt?
Well, actually, the African pharmaceutical market was estimated in 2024 to be around $27 billion of sales per annum, and it was projected to increase to around $37 billion per annum in 2033. And if Egypt can link its healthcare diplomacy with affordable medicine supply based on its production base and its experience, it can gain a strong market share in such markets. This, of course, will improve the Egyptian economy, will help the balance of payment, and, of course, will support the Egyptian leadership role in Africa.
So, sir, does positioning Egypt as Africa's healthcare leader help counter regional rivals who are investing heavily in infrastructure?
Well, yes, of course, because the investment in infrastructure gives you visibility. Building roads, building transportation, building railroads. On the other hand, the investment in the healthcare, it gives you more soft power, it gives you more trust. The image of Egypt in the minds of the Africans will be linked to fighting pandemics, to saving lives, to providing affordable medicine. Of course, this will help, as we said, this will help the Egyptian soft power in Africa on one hand, and on the other hand, this will also support the long-term growth of the Egyptian market based on real demand from Africa.
Sir, hosting the 14th All-Africa Games in 2027 will require massive state funding. How do you see such a step in terms of bolstering ties among African states as opposite to huge financing?
Well, the hosting, of course, of the 14th African Games in 2027, of course, this represents a major financial commitment for the Egyptian state, but also it should be seen as strategic spending. not just an event spending, because the political and economic value is big. We're talking about increasing tourism, improving media exposure,
Yes.
youth diplomacy, investment in sport facilities, and stronger African networks. And the key here, the key factor here is what I call cost discipline, because Egypt has to use the existing venues, the existing facilities as much as possible, and avoiding construction, except of course when it becomes necessary. And this has to be based on a strong planning platform.
So, sir, how can Egypt ensure that the financial investments made for the 2027 Games provide long-term economic benefits?
Well, the investment in such games would provide, of course, long-term economic benefits, because sports creates networks among young people,
Yes.
among federations, universities, investors, and of course among the mass media networks. And these networks can later support the cooperation in education, entrepreneurship, investment, tourism, and cultural exchange. And therefore, the Games should not be treated as only a 2-week event of competition. They should be linked to year-round African youth programs, scholarships, sports and medicine cooperation, startup events, and cultural forums. It can be a strong push to the Egyptian soft power in Africa.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Ayman Ghoneim, legal and economic expert. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And back to our reports from the African continent. And the Democratic Republic of Congo is suing Rwanda at the International Court of Justice over violations in the country and alleged backing of rebels. It is also demanding reparations for victims. Details follow.
The Democratic Republic of the Congo has filed a case against Rwanda at the International Court of Justice. It accused its neighbor of violating multiple international treaties by allegedly deploying troops and supporting armed groups in eastern DR Congo. Kinshasa is seeking an order for Rwanda to hold the alleged violations and pay reparations to victims. Rwanda, which has consistently denied backing the M23 rebel group, has not yet responded to the latest filing. The case comes despite a US-backed peace agreement signed between the two countries as fighting in eastern DR Congo continues. In a statement released on Friday, the Hague-based court confirmed that the DRC had instituted proceedings against Rwanda over what it described as abuses attributable to Rwanda over a period extending from 1996 to the present day. According to the application, the DRC alleges that the abuses formed part of a campaign of genocide and serious widespread human rights violations carried out by the Rwandan authorities in eastern Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and later in eastern DRC.
And the United Nations said on Tuesday that an Ebola outbreak could cost Africa up to $3.6 billion and hundreds of thousands of jobs, potentially causing a development crisis. Congo said the outbreak of the Bundibugyo strain of Ebola, for which there is no tested vaccine or treatment, has infected 1,307 people and killed 377 in the country since being declared on May 15th. Details follow.
The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has spread to a fourth province, according to media reports. Health officials said an Ebola case was detected in Haut-Oili province after a patient traveled there from Ituri province, which is the outbreak's epicenter. Like Ituri, the province sees heavy cross-border movement and trade, which health officials fear is helping the virus spread. The outbreak, declared on May 15, now stands at 1,274 confirmed cases in DRC, with 360 deaths. Neighboring Uganda has 20 confirmed cases and 2 deaths.
Ismail Saibari scored the decisive goal in a penalty shootout, and Morocco sent the Netherlands to its earliest World Cup exit, eliminating the Dutch 3-2 after a 1-1 draw on Monday night. With the shootout tied at 2-2 after 4 rounds, Morocco goalkeeper Yassine Bono made a strong save of Nico Somerville's attempt, battling it away with his left hand. Saibari then sent the winner into the low left corner as goalkeeper Bart Verbruggen went the other direction. Earlier in the shootout, with Morocco trailing 1-0, Verbruggen appeared to have stopped an attempt by Soufiane Rahimi, but the goalkeeper could not secure the ball and deflected it over the line with the back of his leg. That's all for Africa Today. Thank you for watching.